Hello, y'all. It's me again. Like I said, I'm going to keep doing these videos. Don't have many views, but it's changing, it's moving, it's elevating. I'm not going to give up. Never. Basically, if you do like what I'm saying, please feel free to subscribe. But for the most part, I'm just liking this and getting into it. But Spirit or the all was interested in me talking about this topic today, which is integrity. I think it's because these are common things that people don't really think about, but they're elements that we need to adopt in this time, especially so that we can find our inner balance. And also at the same time, once we have that integral kernel within us, it will flourish and grow. So please know that even though the things I talk about might be very simplistic, they might be things that people overshadow, don't think about, and kind of glaze over. However, they have a very important pillar of, you need your pillars to be strong in order to have a very good foundation for whatever you're building in your life, especially during the ascension period. And or if you're coming on, if you're just new to this, if you're a chosen, if you're a star seed, if you're not, if you're just the average, all of these things adopted will always let your inner soul grow and shine more. So we're going to talk about integrity. So you might be asking yourself, like, what is integrity? What does it mean? Most of us, when we come, as children, we all have this integrity installed in us. And it's something that we lose over time. So it's something that we may feel we have or we still hold on to. But a lot of us have let integrity go. And it happens to all of us on every level. It could be seeing something happen on the bus or the subway that you don't agree with and you think is really cruel or mean, and you don't stand up and say anything about it. And you'll notice that little aching feeling inside, you're like, I should have said something. That's integrity talking to you. Because the little 4-year-old self or the 5-year-old self would have been like, hey, that's not nice, right? And that's the voice that we're always ignoring. For most of us, some people may see that could be dangerous or that could be malice. However, as an adult, it's a little harder in the day-to-day world. However, yes, we should always choose and pick our battles. Sometimes people have mental illness. I'm just giving an example. Like, that's a small example of, like, when you see something that's very simple to address, and it doesn't have to be in a rude way. And maybe you're clearing up a situation for a lot of people. That happens to me a lot. A lot of people do a lot of asinine things in front of me. And I would say, as I'm growing in my super self, if you want to call that, I am calling it out now more so than ever. I was always kind of like that, but I'm like really putting it on because that's where integrity lies. Like, if you see these little, things, people make mistakes. It's not like, but when you see people blatantly doing rude things, don't be scared to stay or state something that everyone around you is thinking. That's pretty much what it is. So that's one version of integrity. It could happen even at work. A lot of us go through integrity crises. Like, let's say, for example, you've been working your job, you're a good worker, and your boss, for some reason, always slacks at the very end of the day and then throws something at you, and you end up having to sit there and go, oh, I'm so tired, and I just want to go home, and I don't want to have to do this. But yet, you're like scared. And that's what you genuinely want to say to your boss, but you're not, because you're scared that you're going to get in trouble and maybe lose your job. So we end up like stalling ourselves from using our inner power and establishing our rights. There's nothing wrong with saying that. You could simply say to your boss, like, hey, it's kind of late in the day. Do you mind if I tackle this tomorrow? There's nothing wrong with that. So it's little like, I guess integrity boils down to when things are not maybe fair in your, we all have worth. Every single human being. No human being is higher. We make ourselves put people higher, but really and truly, we all take craps. We all bleed. We're all susceptible to death. So therefore, you're not better than me. Just because we've made up what money means, and just because you have more of it, doesn't mean that you're actually better than me. races, whatever the case may be. We're not better than each other. We're all equal. We're all the same. So it's like, even when you're at work, that integrity feeling of like standing up for yourself and your worth is not a bad thing either. So there's little ways in everyday life that we can reclaim our integrity. It could even be like somebody butting in front of you at the grocery store. Why is that person special? Why did that person, and every other person in line that's not saying anything really is anxious and angry and wants to find and grab that integrity and say something just like you. So I'm saying, if you are on this journey where you're trying to reclaim your inner child, your inner self, you want to find fairness in the world. I'm not trying to insinuate that you go out there and be like some freedom fighter, but also like maybe out of the 10 times that you feel that integrity urge, maybe try once to see how you feel. Standing in your right, standing in your light, addressing things that perhaps a lot of people are feeling and wish would stop happening. And that's how you claim your power. That's how you claim your life, by adorning the idea of integrity. Like, for example, I'll give you an example. When I was falling away with my partner, I had an old friend of mine reach out to me, somebody I hadn't talked to in over 10 years, okay? And he was being sympathetic to my situation. He was telling me like, oh, things aren't going as well with me and my wife. He was trying to be sympathetic, right? As the conversation went on for maybe a day or two, we didn't talk throughout the whole day, but then what happened is like he messaged me, and it was getting later at night. I had already put my son down, and this guy started like hitting on me, and I'm fully like, you're married, and I just left a relationship where somebody just did the exact same thing like this to me. Now, some people, when you're in a situation of a breakup, you can be very lonely, very beside yourself. You can be very like searching for comfort for people, right? However, this person was trying to manipulate the situation, maybe using my loneliness and my insecurities at that time against me. But of course, there's this like I said, little kernel of integrity that was in me that was like, is this guy really trying to do this to me when I just came out of this? And usually, the older self of me, before I started coming onto this whole path, would have joked it off and just like been like, aha, you're funny, and like get off the message. But this time, I let him have it. This time I was like, yo, buddy, like I just told you, like I'm going through this devastating situation, and here you are trying to put me in the same third party situation. And I was like, please, if this is what you're going to do, don't talk to me anymore. And we can end this friendship here. And it honestly, at that very moment, made me feel a lot better. Instead of just the old, like, oh, ha, 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 shrug it off and move on type of thing. That always was passive aggressive. And I always just ended up feeling shitty about things. So I'm using this situation because it's the difference between passive aggressive and actually like stating what's true and honest and integral in your feeling and integral in your life. So it could be even like how your spouse treats your children. It could even be feeling devalued in your life with your spouse or with your mother or father or children. These things actually take place on so many different levels, and it's like little reclamations, like by staying in your integrity and actually like doing what is honest and just and right in your heart, the integral part of yourself, you find that these little ways bring you back to the child version of yourself that is the most integral version of you. Where it fell away, we won't know, but we can always try to get it back. And by immersing yourself in this idea that I'm going to just fight for little integrities until those integrities get bigger and bigger is also going to help you reclaim your power. So I hope you understand why I keep coming on and like breaking everything up, like the stories, and now we're working on integrity. I was moved today to talk about integrity because it's something that took me a long time to face, a long time to get, like, I wouldn't even say get good at it because I'm still working on it. You know what I mean? But I know that I'm at a place where I'm like, no, this has to happen all the time. It's not just something I turn on or off. It's like, I got to be integrity. I got to always have integrity. And I got to, push forth with integrity. So I'm going to say like integrity like another 20 times. But it is a very important part. And for some of you, maybe you have always had integrity and then you don't need to look at this video. But for those of us that, like I said before, like the lamb matrix, like a lot of us, like empathic, angelic styled people tend to be more pushover because not only do we feel like, oh, we're stronger to handle things, we also feel like it's our job to help people. So then we end up like taking back seats to ourselves, and then we get used or misused in a sense. And that's not what we're made. We were not put here to be punching bags for people. None of us, no human being should be a punching bag for another human being. So in order to prevent yourself from being a punching bag, you have to work on integrity. And that's going to, again, like the smiles on the street, it's going to ricochet into something bigger. You show integrity, then someone else sees that, right? Sees you standing up. And then maybe they want to adopt that and they want to be more like you. And then they become, fighting for integrity too. And then they see misaction and misuse in their life and they fight for it. It just keeps happening. You can only be like someone's, I don't even want to say the word is mentor. Like people will only adopt better personality traits, perspectives, ways of being by seeing it in their own day-to-day lives. And if we don't pave the way for that, then we just end up like the rest who don't stand up. So if you're on this journey of trying to find yourself and really come at life in a way of a light worker or whatever the case may be, you have to stand up for your integrity. You have to let your integrity be showcased. You have to let your integrity shine. Because if you think about it, children in a playground all have integrity and no one's getting hurt. They just say their piece. They're like, that's not fair. And then the person's like, okay, it's not fair. And then they move on. Like everyone, when they're in their fullest integrity, they get told the truth and they react with the truth and no one's offended. So I just want to put that out there. Children can teach us a lot about human behavior sometimes and how to be more like it. So thanks, guys. I just want to say that I love you all and I hope this message helped. Okay, bye.